I have two brief questions I'd like to ask, if I may.
Hi, welcome to Left Foot Media. My name is Brendan Malone and you're watching The Daily Question. Today's question of the day: will the new Robin Hood movie be any good? Now, the reason I'm asking that question is because the trailer for the brand new upcoming Robin Hood movie has dropped in the last week or so, and it stars Jamie Foxx and Taron Egerton, among others. And I looked at the trailer, and the first thing I thought when I got to the end of the trailer was, man, this just looks so typical of so many of the issues that are plaguing Hollywood right now. Why are we rebooting this is the first thing I thought. It's only 8 years ago, 2010, that we had a rebooted version of Robin Hood. And although it wasn't the world's greatest film, it wasn't particularly bad either. Ridley Scott, Cate Blanchett, Russell Crowe, and it was I think it was an okay film. Perhaps it went too far in trying to put a gladiator type spin on Robin Hood, but it was an okay film, and it's only 8 years ago. And here we are, less than 10 years later, and we've got another Robin Hood. So that's the first thing. Why are we rebooting? This constant sort of penchant for rebooting things now. It's like this is Hollywood's version of OCD. What can we reboot? We've got to reboot something. What's that you say? There's a brand new movie that got released just last year. Let's reboot it. Yeah, like it's just become this addiction, constant reboots. Secondly, I look at this trailer and what do I see? I could be wrong because trailers can be very deceptive and misleading, as we all know by now, but I look at this trailer and I see the very typical modern trend of spectacle over substance. I see a film that looks to me like, instead of focusing on what is an interesting mythology, which we'll touch more on in just a second, it's going to be all about, hey, look at him firing these arrows. It's almost like he's got a semi-automatic weapon, a modern weapon. Look at the way he uses these things. And look at this big explosion here. And here's a trebuchet. And you know what? We're going to figure out a way to make this trebuchet into a pre-modern version of a transformer. You know, it just sort of feels like that's what we're going to get. We're going to get a whole lot of stuff that is time period totally inconsistent, that is purely there for the spectacle, and what's going to happen is the whole idea of plot and character development, and particularly exploring what is an interesting mythology, is just going to be chucked by the wayside, so we can look at lots of impressive looking, what are supposed to be impressive looking special effects happening on the screen in front of us. The thing about Robin Hood though is that it's actually, like I said, an interesting mythology. You've got interesting characters, this wide-ranging and interesting group of characters. The villains are interesting, the heroes are interesting. There's lots that can be explored there. But this film doesn't look like it's actually going to take advantage of any of that. Instead, like I said, what we're going to get, I think, is just a whole lot of special effects and spectacle. It's going to be, hey, look at this big bonanza. Look, stuff happening on the screen. Don't worry about characters and story. You don't need those when you got stuff happening on the screen. Hey, whoa, it's a reboot. And so, look, I could be wrong. I really could be wrong. This could be the most amazing film that's been released in the last 20 years. And I'll be happy to be proved wrong if that is the case. But I suspect not. I look at this trailer and I think, yeah, again, really? I mean, Guy Ritchie showed with the first Sherlock Holmes film that if you're Guy Ritchie, you can take an old school English piece of mythology and you can put an interesting sort of modern twist on things. However, if you're going to just knock off that version of events, which is what this film looks like it's going to be, I'm not convinced that that's going to work at all. Like I said, I'm happy to be proved wrong, and as per usual, I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you like the content I'm creating and you'd like to see more of it, then please support me on Patreon for as little as $1 a month. There's a link in the description below and a link on screen at the end of this video. That's right, I can hear my theme music too. I'll see you tomorrow on The Daily Question.